Okay, let's go. Awesome. Okay, so I think this should be live for everyone to see, it seems, because we are on stage. Maybe if anyone can see this, if you can just let us know right now in the chat box. I just want to make sure everything is good and working before we get started. So if you could use the chat box, someone just say hi or something, that would be really great. Perfect. Okay, Tim says everything looks good. Awesome. Okay, then I think what we're going to do, we have a scheduled start time for right now. Let's just wait 1 more minute or so, maybe 1 or 2 minutes, make sure any late joiners trickle in, and then we will get things started. But Tim, thank you for that. Good to see you here. So for anyone who's just joining right now, we're just going to give it a minute or two for anybody to roll in a little bit late, and then we will kick things off very, very soon. Really looking forward to doing this session with all of you. This is the first time we've used Goldcast for like a webinar or a live session, so it's taking us just a little bit of time to get used to it, but things seem really good here. Okay, let's go another 30 seconds, and then we will kick things off for all of you. Cool. If you're just joining now, we are going to get started in the next 30 seconds or so. Feel free to use the chat box. If you have like any questions as we go throughout today's workshop, we are going to take questions, but we'll take them at the end. So make sure you can either get them in nice and early, or you can ask them as we're going, but we will not be answering those until towards the end of the session. So make sure you stick around for that too. We have an hour scheduled for this, so we're going to try and stick to time as best as we can, but we have a lot of stuff to get through as well. Okay, I think we're 2 minutes past the start time, so let's kick things off. Let's get started. If any of you have any questions, like I said, make sure you use that chat box, and we will fly through those towards the end. Okay, great to see so many of you here. So we are going to get things started now. Welcome to today's session. So we're going to be talking about SaaS advertising secrets. We're going to be showing you how to build really great converting and high quality ad creatives for your SaaS business. We're going to be kind of lifting the lid and showing you our playbook for how we're running this at Hey Digital, and then talking a little bit more about Hey Design as we get into the session today as well. And so if you are here on today's session, I'm guessing there's probably 1, 2, maybe 3 reasons that you'll be here. Most likely you need SaaS ad creatives. You are running ads to some kind of scale on paid social, LinkedIn, Facebook, Meta, etc. And you're trying to figure out how you can create better ads faster. Or maybe you're joining us from another agency, maybe you're a freelancer, a designer yourself, and you'll want to find out how you can create better ads. Hopefully, if you match either of those, we are going to be able to help you out in the session today. Tim has asked if we'll share the recording and the slide deck. We will be sharing everything afterwards as well. But I would encourage you to stick around and be here in real time if possible, because we'll be covering more things in real time that can't be shared afterwards. Okay, so best ways to participate, just some quick ground rules. Please make sure your mics are turned off. I think that's enforced anyway, so shouldn't be any problems there. If you have any questions, any thoughts, anything like that, go ahead and use the chat section to do so. And to get things started, it would be really, really great. We can see in our like webinar dashboard the names of the people who are here, and obviously the names of people who signed up and everything like that. But if you're here in real time with us right now, it would be really, really great to know who you are. So I can see a few of you are already using the chat box, but please go in there, share some information about yourself. Let us know maybe what your role is, or what company you're working at, or even some of the biggest challenges you're facing right now, what you're hoping to take away from this workshop. Any of those things would be great. We can make sure that we are engaging with you as we go throughout the session as well. So yeah, please go ahead and say hi. It'd be really great to get to know a little bit more about all of you who are here with us on today's session. And I'll wait for a few of those to come in a second. And whilst we're doing that, so the kind of core speakers today, it's going to be me running this this intro and talking to you a little bit towards the back end of the session about the work that we are doing at Hey Design. And then Irada here is going to be running the bulk of this workshop. Irada is the leader of our design team at Hey Digital, and at Hey Design was the very first designer that joined our team and has helped us build out a really incredibly talented, creative team and function at both of these companies. Irada, I'm just going to move forward, and you can like intro yourself when you get started in a couple of slides time. I think we have so much to get through. I don't want to be like delaying things a little bit. So okay, let's continue. For this session today, most of you who are here, most likely the reason you're here is that you have seen some content from us on LinkedIn talking about this session. You will probably know us from our experience running Hey Digital. Just in case you don't, I'll give you a little bit more context on that. So Hey Digital is a performance marketing agency. We are running paid advertising for some of the best SaaS companies in the world now. We've worked with well over 150 clients, many companies that you will know, and a really significant and important part of the work that we do is our creative strategy direction. And we have been building, designing, working on so many of the best like SaaS ads that are out there. So many of you will have seen our ads in your like LinkedIn feeds, in your Meta feeds, in other places too. And I would really genuinely believe we have the best like design team in the world when it comes to a company specifically focused on SaaS ads. And the reason that we're doing this like workshop today, and hopefully you would have seen a little bit more information about this over the last few days across LinkedIn, but we are rolling out a new agency, a sister agency to Hey Digital, and that is Hey Design. You can see that right here. Today is like the first official launch day for Hey Design. The website went live today. We have been quietly servicing clients on a productized design service for the last maybe 9 months or so, figuring out the best way to deliver this service, and it's been working extremely well. So we decided to spin up a sister agency fully focused just on design, just for SaaS companies, and we'll talk a little bit more about that as we go throughout the session today as well. In the meantime, thank you for those of you who are introducing yourself in the chat. It would be really great for a few more of you to do that as well. Great to see we have so many interesting people and marketers here as well. So that's a little bit about Hey Design from a very high level. We'll touch a little bit more information on that later, but you'll see this on the website. You'll see a bunch more info as we go throughout. But let's continue. So today, the workshop, why are we doing this? What are we trying to do? It's still a little bit wild to me that we're going to give away so much information, and that our team, especially Irada and our designers, have put so much time into something like this to give away to all of you who are here. So I hope you enjoy this. I think you're very lucky to be able to get behind the scenes access like this. But we're going to try and show you in the next 50 minutes how you can build like fast, scalable SaaS ad creatives without overwhelming your own internal team. Of course, you can take what we're going to show you, pass this on to your own designers, try and run this framework yourself. That's one option. Or the second is you're going to be able to utilize our creative team at Hey Design Services if you would like to do so as well. And so this is what we're going to run through. We're going to go through SaaS ad creatives in the wild. We're going to cover like why most SaaS ads and the way that people design ads are fundamentally flawed and likely to underperform. We're then going to run through our own creative framework. This is the framework that we've run for the last 7-8 years at Hey Digital. We were trying to do some calculations to figure out exactly how many ads we've designed over that time. We couldn't figure out the exact number, but I think we worked out it was like over 160,000 ads or something like this. So we're going to show you the framework for how we do that. And we're going to highlight some real world case studies from some brands that you likely would have seen yourselves too. And then we'll have time, hopefully at the end, for Q&A. So we have a pretty packed agenda. Now, we are also giving away some really genuinely high quality resources today. We use that to hook most of you in through our LinkedIn posts, but we're going to be giving away a bunch of design inspiration. Obviously, this is all going to be SaaS design inspiration. We're going to give away some prompts, like some design prompts that are going to help you with generating more assets and better assets. And then we will also be sharing a little bit of a special launch offer for any of you who are potentially interested in testing out Hey Design's services. That offer will only be for people that are watching this this workshop and this session today as well. Okay, before we get started, let me know if one or two of you can use the chat to let me know whether or not you are ready to get things kicked off. Irada is going to be up on stage in a second to start running through everything. So let's wait for one or two of you to let me know if you are good to go. I see we have a few thumbs ups already. Okay, cool. Irada, I think you can hear me, right? So I will stop my screen share and just let you take over, because otherwise it's going to be a pain in the ass for you if I'm like moving slides for you, if that's all right. But I can give you a minute to figure that out if you need to. Cool. Okay, we have quite a few people saying good to go, which is great. Let's just run through the intros whilst Irada is getting ready to. So we have someone leading, Isabella leading product marketing at GrowDash, which is really cool. Carolis design at Billow. Billow is the UGC platform, right? That's really cool. Jeff from Australia. Jeff, thank you for staying so late. Really appreciate that. Jakub from Alakai. Great, we have so many great people here. So thank you all for dropping those intros in. Okay, I am going to stop my screen share, and then let's get Irada up on the stage. Manank, can you do that? How do we do this? Okay. Irada. Irada, I don't know how to get you up on the
Irada has to press the button herself to come on
Yeah,
stage.
I did. Am I on the stage? Oh, yes,
Yes, you're on stage. Yes, you're live. Let's go.
Yay.
Okay, I'm going to hand over to you.
Okay. Thank you, Dylan. Hello, everybody. My name is Irada, and I am the design team lead at Hey Digital. So yeah, let's get started. Okay. So SaaS in the wild. So as we all know, SaaS products, they got so many features and for so many different ICPs, and it required a lot of explaining. And so it was really important for the ads to both visually be compelling and informative. And of course, we want to say it all to, prospects and potential buyers. And that's why ad creative or great ad creative is about showing the right thing in the right amount and in the right time. And of course, after years and years of testing, experimenting, and creating, a pattern has emerged, and marketers lean on proven creative angles to getting the right message fast. And yeah, you start to notice these patterns, and the formulas are popping up in advertising. So these are the widely used angles, and you've seen them and you probably use them. But even the best messages can fall flat if no one notices. So that's where visual hooks come in. And visual hooks are like storytelling at its quickest. And that's why they're all scroll stoppers, the little trick to say, hey, look at me. They're not just pretty, they're purposeful, and it grabs attention in milliseconds. And here are some few examples, and the list just goes on and on. Okay, but when everybody is following the same playbook, those tactics could lose their edge. So without carefully aligning your message, and you could risk blending in instead of standing out. So great creatives don't just follow the trend, it reinterprets it. And here are some of the points to keep in mind while you go with one of those visual hooks or ad angles. So first off, make sure to communicate your unique problem, because your product is unique. You usually have a unique problem. So we can articulate the pain point. For an example, here, these ads are talking about old tech, right? So instead of saying that it's old, we can say what sucks about it. Second, we can add brand personality. You could bring in your tone of voice and some of your visual elements. And lastly, is micro storytelling. You can create a scenario, even create a character, and so on. Okay, here's an example. This is post hoc, and so post hoc is the open source all-in-one product analytic platforms, and we target developers and product teams. So we had a campaign. We have two campaigns, prospecting and retargeting here, and we were going to do the competitor comparison. And here are the winners. So as you can see that the visual hooks here is the plain old comparison table, the pain point, and the meme, right? We all know this, but post hoc definitely communicated their audience's unique problem. And the brand personality and tone of voice, we just nailed it. The tone is honest, blunt, and built for depth attitudes. Depth with attitudes. And so if you look at each of these ads, it just looks like a snippet of a short story. Okay, so the results, we got some really high CDR, lots of signups, and it was just a great campaign. So we learned that just calling out the enemy, the competitor, and knowing the differences is really important. And then just, align the intent and really know your audience to being able to deliver the blunt or non-technical.
Irada, just quickly before you jump into Nebulae too, I think post hoc is such a great example for anyone, and I'm not just saying this because we design like a lot of their ads, right? But I think post hoc is one of the best examples in the SaaS space for like getting creative with ads and giving them personality while still remaining really true to brand. Because I think so many SaaS companies are so fearful about like, oh, but how can we make ads fun and interesting without like going too far off the beaten path? And with post hoc, I know they do have this like fun, playful brand that everyone knows and loves now. But at the beginning, like when we first started running post hoc's ads, no one really knew who they were. They were so fresh and new back then. And I think like this is a great place. I see Isabella also put that she looks to them for inspiration, but I think just looking at post hoc's ad library and also the content that they create is such a great place if you're trying to get inspiration for how to bring some like fun to ads. One other like benefit to getting creative like this with ads is, of course, we have the metrics and the things that Irada is sharing around like, okay, we had much higher and better CTR on competitor ads and other items like this. Those metrics and the performance metrics are really important. But when you start designing ads like this too, you have the unmeasurable metrics that are like the amount of times that people screenshot these ads and share them, whether it's in different marketing groups or even using them as inspiration for themselves. It's like post hoc are able to get in front of way more people without actually even spending as much money as it may take others because of the network effect of like us designing really banging ads for them and people then sharing those ads too. So I know that some people get scared and nervous, and Irada, maybe we can take that as like a question a little bit later on at the end of like, how do we make ads fun, even if the brand is a bit more boring or something. But I just want to add that because I think post hoc is one of my favorite companies that we work on with creative, like really, really great stuff. Okay, sorry, you go.
Same for me. Thank you. Okay, so our next client is Nebulae, and Nebulae is the AI user experience platform for LLM-based products. And so the goal for the campaign was website visitors and demo conversion. And we're going to do an angle that's called evolution of prompt debugging. And we definitely went meme. So the tone here is this self-aware humor, and in the first ad, we use the brand blue, but as you can see for the prospecting ad design, it is non-branded, and it's good to test non-branded ads just to reach broader audience and capture demand for people who don't know your brand. And for the last ads, we went with something more polished on brand and conversion prime creative. So, of course, the two memes drove the highest traffic ever. And also the broken car meme brought a lot of demo sign up. And yes, retargeting ad drove a bunch of conversions. So meme is just instant relatability, and humor soften the product complex. Here we also target devs. So memes aren't just scroll stoppers, they're conversion starters, and especially when it speaks to devs. Okay, next we're going to look at why most ads underperform. And here are the things that we learned after years of running ads and testing them. So the common pitfalls was misaligned messaging. This was really common. Sometimes we could rely too much on interface and the features without showing them the why or really presenting the value. Also, ads that look like ads, again, pointing it back to showing the right thing at the right time. Personally, I don't think ads that look like ads is bad. It just depends on when you showed it to them and if you do it right. So next is incorrect targeting, showing the wrong ads to the wrong audience, playing it safe by not being brave or original and relying too much on those frameworks without making it truly yours. Okay. Excuse me, I think we skipped a slide there. Okay, so now we're going to talk about our creative framework, and sorry. Okay, so this is our design process that we developed. So first is to understand the objective, to match the campaign objective and the messaging to the mindset that we're going to design. Second is finding the visual hooks. So we do visual research, and then ideation and sketching, and then finalize. Sorry, I gotta go back. Okay, so first, understanding the objective. Yes, first thing first is to understand the campaign context. So why are we doing it? What's the goal? Who is it for? And what is the landing page? And next is finding visual hooks. Here we going to do research on what's been done before, understand what we're saying to the audience, how to capture the attention, and pick out the words that can be visualized, like cut down, increase, connect, transform, all in one. These are the words that can be visual cues to tell what your ad is about. And then for visual research, we would look on the clients and the competitors' website, social, look in the software itself, go explore an ad library, and so on. Next, when doing ideation and sketch, we would normally do just really, really simple sketch. So we don't want to put much effort into it because we're just testing it. We just want to use like just screenshots and some text, nothing polished. Then we would only explore 1 to 2 designs per idea, because to produce ideas fast. We would have to spend lots of time to ideate. And that's why I want to explore a few different options per idea. Then work smart. So this is how we integrate AI into our process. If you use Midjourney and if you toggle on the chaos is a parameter that controls the degree of difference among the image generated from a single prompt to get different perspective. So if you're a human, right? Like you can think of so many ways to show something, but an AI could show you a million different ways to say the same thing. And lastly, finalize. This is where you polish your design, bringing the brand elements in where you see fit. Okay, so putting them together, first understand the objective, find your visual hooks, do your sketch, your quick sketch, and you polish the design later. Okay, I think we're going to move on to the case study now. And this is a case study from our clients. So Dylan, feel free to jump in if you have anything to add.
Sure, yeah. And maybe just before we jump into this too, let's go you can keep this on your screen, Arada, because we'll run through that in a second. Let's see, for anyone who is watching and live with us right now, if you have any questions, start to get them in so that we can be collecting them for when we run through and do a Q&A towards the end. I think we're actually going to have plenty of time, which is really great. So we can spend a lot of time on questions, which is going to be really cool. Arada, I know one question that's most likely going to come up. I would be shocked if no one asks anything about utilizing AI for ad creative. I think it'd be cool to talk a little bit about that and have an open discussion about that as a team. And again, if you're watching right now, you're going to receive all of these slides afterwards, as well as a bunch of other stuff that we mentioned around ads library, different prompts that you can utilize, everything like that. So don't worry too much about those. Maybe you can let us know too in the chat box if you don't have any questions, what something interesting has been for you so far, whether it's the different angles or approaches that we're trying to use for ads. Thinking about visual hooks, I think, is super, super important. But yeah, please let us know in the chat box so we can start prepping for questions as well. Cool. Okay, let's go into this case study then. I think this is a good time to run through this.
Okay. So this is the first example, and the client is WriteSonic. They're an AI writing tool. You might have used them before. And the challenge was they want more signups for their product. And then so we were running some free trials campaign for WriteSonic and ChatSonic. I'm sorry. Yes. Then also we needed a landing page and a retargeting campaign. Then here is an example of the landing page that we did for WriteSonic. And this is the result. They achieve 350% in revenue growth. And our next client was Pitch. And yes, everybody knows Pitch. They do presentation. And so the challenge was high CPA. And we were testing so many different creatives. And here is the outcome. We were managed to decrease CPA by 22%. And yes, 55% increase in social ad signups as well. So.
Nice, cool. I can jump in, Harada. I can take over from here if you want.
Okay.
Cool. I think around it won't let me screen share until you stop yours. So maybe if you can just stop and then I can take over. Nice. Okay. I haven't seen too many questions come in just yet either, everyone. So please go ahead and start putting questions in the chat if you have them. We are going to have like plenty of time. We're almost towards the back end of the content that we've prepared as well. So I think we're going to have loads of time to answer questions, talk about creative stuff too. Before we get into giving away the resources that we have for you and talking through any of the questions that do come through, I would love to just share and highlight a little bit more information very quickly about what we are working on and building at Hey Design. So, of course, the main reason for us doing this workshop today is to support you and help you and give you the direction that you need to create really great ad creatives. But we know that ultimately you can have all the information in the world, but still being able to follow through and deliver on that can be really tough. Like, we've worked with well over 150 SaaS companies now. We've been in the space for 7-8 years with Hey Digital. My previous experience in SaaS was for years before that too. So I've been in the space for probably 10 years now. And one of the biggest pain points has always been companies struggling with high quality design, but also speed and turnaround of high quality design as well. And normally one of the biggest challenges is like you'll all have designers on your team. Like you'll all have one designer, multiple designers. But usually if that one designer is focused on everything within the business, like product design, UI, UX design, website design, ads, like everything else that comes into that, it's really hard for them to truly become an expert at certain things. Like they can be great or good at everything, but they can't be great at specifics. And like our designers, like all we're doing, we're 100% focused on ads and 100% focused on ads and landing pages for SaaS companies. And we've really been able to build out some great frameworks. What you've seen on the session today is like high level versions of our frameworks, but we've been able to build out some really great frameworks to help us produce great quality ad creative at scale very, very quickly now. And we've been practicing and working over the last year or so to figure out the best way to bring this to market and offer this to people in a low cost, easy to work with way. And so that's why we've launched Hey Design. You can go check out the website after the session. It's heydesign.co. The way that it works is a productized ad service. So you sign up. We have a few different plans that we'll talk about later on. You can fill in and submit your creative brief. Like all you need to do, it's fully self-service platform. So you select the package that you would like to use. You submit your own brief. You tell us like what you need created. We have some clients using this service who go extremely deep with their briefs. They know exactly what they want and they fill out everything and they ask us to be very clearly focused on their brief. And then we have some clients who like ultimately have a little bit of an idea but don't know exactly what they actually want to see. They just have a direction, and that's still okay too. Like we can lean on our experience and the thousands of ads that we've created over time to try and help you come up with the best possible ads and ideas as well. So it's very, very like simple process. You submit the brief, we handle the rest. We have like a dashboard and a tool that we use for all of our communication. So you'll receive your ads for review. You will always receive the first ad within 48 hours, the very first draft. And to be honest, right now, in most cases, you receive the ads even faster than this. And that gives you the opportunity to get ads very quickly, to test them, to come back to us with more briefs, to iterate on them so that you can kind of scale up your ads very, very quickly too. The way that it works and what you will see on the website pricing wise is this right here. To be honest, the pricing is already extremely competitive for the level of experience and quality that you would receive in design from us and our team. If you were to hire a designer internally, you wouldn't be able to hire a designer to handle all of this stuff at this kind of cost. So it's already more cost effective than hiring somebody internally. And if you were to hire a designer internally at these kind of costs, they also wouldn't have the level of depth of experience that our team have. So it's very competitive pricing here. You can see that we handle packages where it's just static ad design. We have motion graphic packages included as well. And then also a package with landing pages too. We will not be adding any like significant or providing any discounting on this pricing publicly for anyone to utilize. But as today is the first day of rolling this new agency out, and although I say new, it doesn't really feel new because we've just been having this under the Hey Digital umbrella for the last year or so. But this is the first time we're rolling it out as its own standalone brand. And so as we have, I can see maybe like 65, 70 people here right now, and I'm sure there'll be many more that receive the recording too. We are happy to make like a special offer discount for anyone who is with us today. I think I'll set some like parameters in place for this discount. Isn't going to be available forever. I know that onboarding a creative agency or creative support isn't a decision that many of you will just make like instantly on this webinar. So I'm happy to give you a few days to think about it. I will run a discount, let's say until I'm like deciding on the timelines in real time right now. So let's run the discount until Wednesday of next week to give everyone a few days to think about it if they do want to go forward with it. And what I'm going to do is give a fairly significant discount just for the first month so that you can try it out. I think one of the best like and then you can cancel if you need to, but most of you will not be doing that. I see my screen has just dropped off for some reason. Hopefully people can still hear me. Okay. Okay, hopefully you can still hear and see my screen. So what we're going to do, we'll offer a 30% discount on the pricing for the first month. I think this is like makes it extremely competitive and gives all of you the option to just try this out and see what you think. I can almost guarantee that you'll be extremely pleased and happy with the Hey Design service as well. And it'd be really great to get some of you who are here on the session today on board so that we can start working together and supporting you. Okay, we have like honestly a bunch of time left, like way more time left than I expected, which is really great. So I think what we can do is I'm going to pull the screen share off.Maybe like Irada, if you want to come up onto the stage with me. Manank, maybe you may as well just come up here too, rather than being like behind.
Let's go.
I see we have like a few questions that we've already put into the Q&A box, which is great. Irada, I'm just going to like run through these together with you. I think we can just chat through them, and it'd be really cool to also get like people in the audience's thoughts and feedback as well. Let's start with, I'm going to order it by, I can see you can upvote questions in the Q&A box. I don't know if everyone has access to that, but if you do, click on the Q&A box and upvote the questions that you want us to answer as well. I think that's a really cool idea. And Manank, if you can just keep adding them from the chat into the Q&A box, that makes it easy to follow. Okay, yes. Let's take this first question that I have here. Oh, okay. It's updating with most recent, so it's not the first one I have anymore. Let me go down. Okay, let's take the question of any tips on how to bring out better copies for a developer product focusing on data security and privacy. I know that we don't have our copywriters here on, or maybe, I don't know, actually, maybe Khushbu is in the chat, in the audience. I don't know if she's here or not to like put her on blast like that. Maybe Khushbu's here. Khushbu, if you're here, type a message in the chat because that'd be really cool. And maybe you can help us. But from my perspective, Irada, from your perspective too, like how are the design team and the creative team like working on, I know better copies is very like broad too, but like how are you making sure that when we're producing creative for developer focused companies, like how do we approach that from the copy and even the like visual copy perspective too? Because like we have a few, I don't want to be harsh, but we have a few like boring clients that we run ads for as well, right? That are targeting people. So I know that's a challenge for a lot of people. So like how, even not just from the copy perspective, but from design too, like how do you and the team approach those kind of businesses and audiences when we're making ads for them?
Okay, I think the most important thing is to get to know the client and get to know the audience. And this is why like our onboarding process at Hey Digital can be extensive in terms of like documents into like getting to know ICP and through also audits as well. Our copywriters do the audits on the ICP, and we I can't remember the doc. Sorry, I freeze.
I mean, I've written some copies for developer-focused products, and what I've seen, especially with the developer crowd, is that they dislike all the fluff that we do with other products, and they value like precision, and we want it to articulate it really well. Like for example, like a revolutionary platform that redefines cloud workflows, right? What does that even mean? It's not specific, for example. Or else you can just simply write it as automate particular function, maybe like a CI/CD function, under 5 minutes without XYZ, issues or
What?
hassles.
Yeah, one thing I would also say too is just because like developers are stereotypically known to like not like certain marketing approaches and ads and things like that, it doesn't mean those approaches can't work. Like what I've seen from clients like Posthog, for example, from more technical companies that we work with, like I think maybe Dash Zero is a good example too, and a few of those others, Irada. It was like you can still, like a developer is still going to like an ad if it's really specific to a pain point that they're facing, or if it's like really specific to something entertaining or funny within their space. I think what developers are known for not liking from an ads perspective is if you're just like blasting them with product ads that look just like all the other product ads in the world. Like I can see Jakob puts in here like developers love cynicism as well. Like you can also think about like, if it depends on what kind of developers you're targeting and focusing on, but even experimentation with some like messaging on different ads channels too outside of your typical like LinkedIn's and Facebook's. Like you can be testing around a little bit in Reddit and Quora and making like trying to make entertaining. Like if you're going to make entertaining ads for developers, I think it has to be like really specific to problems and pains that they're facing. Okay, let's take a few more. We have a bunch of questions now that have come in, which is really great. Okay, someone has asked.
Another,
Irada,
yeah.
would you feel comfortable having a little bit of a chat? Like we can do this to get like all of us together because I think this is a very interesting topic. I see a few questions about AI usage, right? So there's one, Vikas has put, how do you use AI to come up or support with initial ideas? Do you use any specific prompts or different AIs for different things? This is one AI question. Another one that I saw was like favorite tools for things like copywriting or design inspiration. There was even another one in here about like, how to communicate with AI to come up with initial ideas. There's a bunch of AI related questions. What tools do you recommend for better concepts? One thing that I would say based on my personal experience and what I've seen is like, it feels like right now everyone, or not everyone, but so many people on LinkedIn, on Twitter, are trying to make it seem like we're in a spot right now where you can put your product or your company URL or name into a tool and then immediately have the best quality ad creative in the world. And I am like very much yet to see a world in which that happens. And I still think we're extremely far away from that happening, but maybe I could be wrong. Manank wants to talk about copy in a second, so we'll do that. On the creative side, it's like, Irada, how are you and your team utilizing AI at the moment to help you? Like, where does it actually fit into you guys' workflow, if at all, in a place where like you're actually using it, it's actually working? Because I think the biggest problem with AI in design right now and in copy too is everyone like on the surface it looks great, but if you actually try and build and run ads that are like fully AI generated, I think we're so far away from it being genuinely helpful, and the amount of time that you spend on testing and experimenting would have been better just doing the actual work yourself. But I don't know, like you're running our creative team, so like how are you guys actually using it, if at all, in your process at the moment?
So for generating ideas, I would say is mid-journey because we can see how different idea can be interpreted in different ways. So first off, it would start with something like keyword mapping, like in the ad copy, there's a few keywords that you can really pick out and visualize it. And so we will put these in mid-journey and to see the different ways how would we visualize that word. And then like for falling through a crack, for an example, there's so many ways that we can show that. And then that would just help us ideate different layouts and different visuals. Then for image generation itself, I will say that we prefer Sora because it is better than Midjourney at the moment, in my opinion. But so far, we've been generating images that we can't find with platforms like Envato or Unsplash, for example. You just have more control over what you want to show and how exactly you want to show it on with AI. Yes.
Manak, I know you said you wanted to talk about copy. I just want to add my thoughts on copy too. Like, I think anyone can use ChatGPT, OpenAI, Claude, any of these other tools to create copy. Like, you can all do that, and yes, it will output copy that's like, in some cases, fine and okay. But my experience with copy generation is like, if you let AI fully take over, I don't think you're going to have good enough ad copy. I think it's too, people are becoming even more sensitive now to like AI generated copy. I've noticed this a lot on LinkedIn and other places. People are like not liking it if they're reading copy that's very clearly AI generated. I think the way in which you can utilize AI to create really great copy, which we're like starting to run or starting to try and build some systems around right now, is if you have your own training data for AI, then the copy output and generation can be very strong. Like, if you're, for example, like we have thousands and thousands of pieces of ad copy that we've written for clients over the last 10 years now, 8 years. Inputting all of that into a model and training the model on our previous copies, on our like approaches to copywriting, to hook generation, etc. I see this being something that's evolving and going to get better. But I don't think, if any of you just go to ChatGPT and you say like, this is my product, this is the ad that I'm running, write some copy for a Google ad or a Facebook ad or a LinkedIn ad or whatever, I don't think that's a good idea. But Manak, you have a lot of experience with AI, like copywriting too. So what are your thoughts on that?
So one thing, in fact, let's just do this live. Anyone wants to give their website? Let me just try writing copy live right now. So what I've done this is like when before I was on the call, it's like you can just quickly generate it on the fly and then just use it just to talk to the client, just to see the angles initially. As you really pointed it out, that you can't use these copies as directly taking it from AI, but I'll show you a quick example on how we can just really use it. So let's see who can we take. I can see multiple products out there, and I think let's go with Protector, because Shashi Kiran gave this website. Let me just quickly share my screen and let's see how we do this quickly with using multiple AI tools out there. In the meantime, guys, keep your questions coming in. I want to just quickly show how we really do instead of doing this with, rather than just using ChatGPT or one or two tools out there. Can you quickly see my screen? Oh, yes, it is. So I use this like extension per se. Yes, the website is good, but ultimately I would want to first take in the information that's already available to me out there. That's what our team does when taking in an audit. So I use this tool called Monica, and it just summarizes the entire page for me. And now I can just select the entire model that I can use, which model for what. I personally recommend the Claude model, especially when writing copy. If you want some edgy copy, it's Grok 3. It's usually experimental. I really don't use this until I'm like too experimental with it. But I don't want to go depend on one tool when I can use all the tools in one simple UI per se. So when I get like a key points like this, I can just write it as something like select Claude and then be like, can you sum this up in one paragraph in layman terms? Essentially, what we're trying to do is we're trying to get this to a level like a 7th standard level. You might have heard of it. to just understand, okay, exactly what the product is really, because people just put all the fluff on their homepage. So Protector is a security tool that protects sensitive data when companies use AI systems. Great, right? Very, really, really simple in a really simple terms. Now, who is the ICP or the target audience for this product? We don't know if this is like a tricky question to ask, but uh, can Shashikiran confirm if this is like the target audience that Protecto is, doing it? Let me just quickly look at the chat for it, or Dylan, you can just read it out because I don't want to go back into the screen.
Sorry, he said yes, enterprise companies, if that was your question.
Perfect. See, I'm already getting in more information like this. And now, can you write me 5 Google ad copies? This is just for like quickly doing it. Obviously, the copy process, a lot goes behind in terms of audit and looking at their existing ads, etc. But this is just like a quick thing to just, get inspiration out of it. 5 Google ad copies that attract enterprise companies for this product. And it's gonna quickly, give me some of the copies. Obviously, not all of them are good. I can just change the model, do some stuff like that. So I can get
And
creative like
I
this.
think what's interesting about this kind of stuff, right, is like the output is fine, but it's not like the you can see you're able to write Google Ads copies quickly and understand the product quickly, which is cool. But this has no like in the background, this is based on information that it's finding online. And when it's writing Google Ads copies, it's probably, I don't even know how it comes up with these, whether it takes information from like articles that people have written about how to write Google Ads copies or how it works this way. But it's like these tools still don't have, unless you provide them with a bunch of training data, they're still like guessing and hallucinating in a lot of times. Whereas when you work with a team like ours, it's like we've done this thousands and thousands of times over and over again. So we already have those frameworks in place, which I think is really important. So like AI tools can help and support, and I think we'll see those evolve a lot over time. But let's jump to a couple other questions, because I saw there was something in here, Irada, something that I know comes up fairly often for us too, was like someone asked here, yeah, so Amal asked, how do you approach creating, and I see this has quite a few upvotes, how do you approach creating creative or fun ads when the client prefers formal corporate ads? Do you convince them to try creative ads? Do you try and make the corporate language sound more fun and entertaining? Like, how do we do that? Because I know that that's something that comes up. Like, I know throughout our client onboarding, we're obviously like asking them, hey, how much freedom and flexibility do we have? And like, how comfortable are you with testing? And lots of questions around this. But like for those companies that are a little bit more stereotypically like boring or don't want to push the boundaries too much, like how do you and your team still try and get creative a little bit with their ads?
I think this is, I don't think we're like in the place to make a decision and say, hey, we must try this. I think it's finding a balance. I think the clients always like, if they keep an open mind, we can test something, something really simple, like just text only ad, just to see if we can be humorous or not. But at the same time, it really depends on the brand. Let's say if it's like an enterprise level, finance industry, or something a bit serious, when it doesn't work, it just doesn't work, and it could come out inappropriate. So I think it depends on the brand, depends on the industry, and just finding the balance.
Yeah, nice. And I saw someone else also ask a question around like, if I can't remember exactly what it was, but someone was saying like, if my audience or ICP is like a C-suite executive at larger companies or whatever, like how do we make ads that aren't boring for them, or how do we stand out, or whatever else? One thing I wanted to say on that is like, just because someone is in a senior position and maybe at large companies, it doesn't mean they're like inherently boring. Like I'm sure some of those people maybe are boring, but like just because they're in these roles and positions, when you're marketing, we're still marketing to humans at the end of the day. And like everyone enjoys humor at times, or everyone enjoys ads that are different from what they're used to seeing. I think like using, of course, it's important that you're not serving ads to your ICP that are like drastically out of place, but at the same time, I think people worry a little bit too much about that sometimes. Like people are people resonate with fun stuff, with interesting hooks and angles. So I would really love to encourage people in the audience today to like just try sometimes. Like sometimes you'll be very surprised by the ads that hit and the ads that don't hit. So I would definitely love people to try a little bit more. Okay, we have a few other questions too. Let's do. Okay, there was one in here that was like, how do we share? And I guess this is coming both from an agency perspective, but also maybe even if there's an internal team and there's a marketer running the ads and they have a designer on their team as well, like how to split and share responsibility among different team members and functions when it comes to coming up with like creative ideas. Like the question here is, who actually comes up with the creative ideas? Is it the performance marketer? Is it the designer? There was also no question of, is it the copywriter? Because I think that's a point that people miss too. Or like, do we do team brainstorms for ideation? We can talk, Arada, maybe a little bit about how we do that internally, but like also for people that don't work with agencies, I personally always think that it shouldn't just be one person. Like it's interesting to get different people's creative like opinions and inputs. But yeah, Arada, like how are we doing that in most cases? Like who comes up with the idea in a lot of our ads, or like where do we start the process?
Okay, so the ideas or the angles is going to be relating to the funnel where the audience is in the funnel. And of course, this is going to be done through the marketing audit that the performance marketing team do for our clients. Then from those audits, we can identify like, oh, this clients need a creative refresh or something like that. And then we're going to come up with different angles, which is idea. Then the creative team can come in and starting to help out how to visualize those ideas or the concepts. Yes.
Yeah, nice. And I think like I don't even know if we still do this. Like I haven't been involved in this for a long time, but like we at the very beginning of Hey Digital, we would always start with like copy first. But do we still do that, or like do we do it does copy happen at a similar time to like design concept, or how do we approach that? Because I know that's something people are often asking too. It's like, should copy come first? Should the ad come first? Should the landing page come first? Should they be coming together? Like how do you and your team think about that at the moment?
Okay, so design takes a bit more effort than copy, because like
Right.
when yes, we need time to visualize, ideate, and then finalize the design. So we find it always better to have copy completed first, so we can use that as guidance to help us visualize the words or the keywords in the copy. And yeah, that's about it.
Nice. Cool. I see Celia is also sharing a little bit about how we experiment with clients, which is cool. I didn't know she was going to be watching this. Okay, do we have any other questions from people? We're planning to wrap up in a few minutes, but happy to hang around and take more. We will also be, at the beginning of the session, we talked, and in the LinkedIn post around this session, we also talked about how we'll be giving away a few different resources. So we're going to give away like a design inspiration library, some AI prompts that you can utilize, and of course a special offer for like early people to test and experiment with Hey Design. The offer is going to be 30% off the first month of Hey Design, and if you want to experiment with that or try it out, just send me a message on LinkedIn and we can get you set up. The other pieces of info will be, Mayank, I think the easiest and best way to do it is like we'll just send them out in the email after the after the session. So check your inbox and you'll receive that. Okay, let's do a couple more questions whilst we still have some coming in. So we have a question, or rather the one that Manank is talking about in our little backstage area is, we have a question on how do we come up with the best visual hooks? I know we've touched on hooks a little bit throughout the session, but maybe we can just talk a little bit more about the process on hooks, because I feel like everyone over the last few years has talked about the importance of hooks in like copywriting, but very few people have talked about the importance of hooks in like ads themselves. One other question that kind of maybe ties into this a little bit too is someone asked like earlier on how we incorporate video into the mix, especially in our like social ads. And I think video has a really important place in the social ads mix, but it really depends on where you're using it in the funnel. I've noticed over the years the length of video has reduced like pretty drastically. I remember 5, 6, 7 years ago, we were running a lot more longer video ads than we are right now. Now I see it seems like the majority of the video ads that we're running are like 2, 3 frames at times, or 2 or 3 scenes at times. So I think speed is becoming very important. But to answer the question about video, it really depends on the funnel stage. But yeah, what about visual hooks, Arada? Like, I know this is a combo between you, your team. I know sometimes copy has input on this too. I know we're like analyzing competitors, what they're doing, information that we've learned from users. Like how do you think about like, or even like what makes a good visual hook as well? Like I know we shared some different examples earlier, but like maybe you could touch on that just a little bit more.
I think research is key. When you say, how do we come up with best visual hook? It's almost like we're just sitting around and the idea lands on us. Okay. But in reality, it's a lot of research and collection and ad collection. So platforms like Atria and Motion, where you can create, like, let's say, visual hook. In the previous example, there was one with facial expression. So you can create a folder called facial expression and see how different brands are implementing this type of visual hook. And also, again, AI tool. Let's say if you type in the word shocking, and you can get different shocking emotions in ways that you wouldn't probably imagine. And yeah.
Yeah. And this next one, this isn't specifically about ads, but like one thing that I do when I'm doing like content, like for example, I was shooting a podcast on Monday and like we had some different discussion points for the podcast. And I wanted, like I'd written down some ideas about my thoughts on the topics, but then I inputted into Perplexity and also into ChatGPT. Like this is the topic. These are my personal thoughts on the topic. Can you please also share with me some contrarian takes on these topics? And I like to use different questions like that with AI tools to support. And you can do this to help you come up with like different ideas for angles and hooks and things like that as well. Okay, I see that someone is asking how to get the right inspiration for static ads. Basically, what you can do is if you go to the new Hey Design website, like heydesign.co, there's a page on there, Our Work, which has a ad library. The site is new, so we're building out the ad library further, but you can also go to Dribble and go to the Hey Digital Dribble profile. We have like, I think over 600, 700 examples of ads and landing pages and things like that that we have designed so far as well. So yeah, please check those. Please check those out. We're trying to share as much of our work as possible when our clients let us, so that we can give inspiration to others as well. And I can almost guarantee that if any of you have been in the SaaS space for any time, you'll recognize some of the ads that you see that we've produced as well. Okay, we have a few other questions still rolling in, but I don't want to run over too much longer. So I am going to take, where is it? Tim has asked, like, what is the minimum budget or time frame to test the performance of an ad to identify winning options? I wish I could give a very direct and straight answer to that, but honestly, there isn't like minimum budgets or time frames, because if you think about it, conversion costs and values dramatically differ across our client portfolio depending on who you're targeting, the kind of product that you have. Like we see some companies that have cost per conversions of like as low as $4 or $5, and some companies that are having costs for conversions of like $500, $1,000, even more in some cases. And so to just put out there like a benchmark on you spend X and that gives you the right decision to make whether it's effective or not doesn't make sense. So it really does depends on conversion volume and a bunch of other metrics. But Tim, I'm happy to like talk through that with you one-to-one. If you want, just drop me a message on LinkedIn and we can brainstorm a little bit on that for you if you need some help. Okay, I think let's start to wrap things up here. I hope all of you who have joined have found this session like helpful and useful. If you do have any follow-up questions, that you can reach out directly to me for sure, to Manank, Arada. I don't know if you want people bothering you or not. Like if people are messaging you, you may be slow to reply. I don't know. Like message me and Manank first. That's fine. I would love to thank all of you who have come to the session so far, and anyone who's watching this recording has got to the very end as well. Like, thank you. We'll be sending you out the slide deck that we ran through and all of the other information in our follow-up email afterwards. And again, thank you for the support too. Like, we're very excited to roll out Hey Design for everyone. If you are interested in giving it a go and experimenting a little bit, just reach out to me directly on LinkedIn and we can get you up and running with a 30% discount for the first month. And really looking forward to connecting with a bunch of you on LinkedIn and talking with you there with any follow-up questions you have. I want to give like a really big thank you to you for the work that you have put into this. And I know that also doing a session like this is pushing you outside of your comfort zone for sure. So thank you so much. I think you're doing awesome. And Manank too, thank you so much for all of the effort that you have put into helping make this a reality too. But let's wrap things up here. I hope everyone has a really good rest of your day, whether it's morning, evening, and looking forward to connecting with all of you soon. Okay, thank you everyone. Goodbye.